two things that are called capital. The first one is money, and we were told that in primary school it's called capital. Do you know which other thing is called capital? Capital punishment. Capital death.
Okay.
It means then that money is your life. So you have to convert. It's a conversion cycle. You take your life, you convert it into capital. Then you take this capital and convert it into wealth. Then it is this wealth now that pays for your life. Now, anytime, that's why my community members are living on 50%. Yeah, you are living on 50%. You will walk with me for a few weeks. You start living on 50% because all of a sudden you will realize that every day there are only two positions you're taking. You're either taking the position of an assassin or a midwife. So when you spend your money, you're voting. You're voting for your future or against your future. So you want to convert your life into capital, then take that capital, convert it into a portfolio that will pay you the rest of your life without you ever lifting a finger. So consequently, you begin to see that when you start hustling, there has to be a date of exit. You can't be hustling endlessly. I ask you, how old are you now? Don't even answer. Let's even assume, right?
What's up, good people? This is Pessa Chronicles. My name is Masinjari. I'll be your host. And as usual, at Pessa Chronicles, we talk to real-life individuals about their experience with money, their financial background, what they have to say, and what they have to share regarding their personal growth. So today I have the honor of having the one, the only, I know you've probably seen him everywhere and anywhere at this point. That is Mr. Stan Agacho, right?
Thank you, Mercy. Happy to be here.
You're welcome.
Yes.
You're welcome, Stan. It's really a pleasure meeting you.
The pleasure is all mine.
Yeah,
I've been seeing you guys on TV, and I'm very happy. Mommy, I made it. Look at me. Look at where we are now.
No, I made it, Stan. I've seen you everywhere, and your content is so persuasive and so strong, right? So you mentioned you're a man on a mission.
Yes.
But even before we go into your mission, who is Stan? I know you're a big man, you have a big agenda. But who is Stan ideally?
Maybe you can step back a bit. There is no bigness anywhere.
Okay.
The bigness is the enemy with which we have to deal with. And this is an enemy that has even stolen our creativity. But then have you realized that there is a way your voice is louder depending on how resourced you are? That you'll enter rooms where you are above, head and shoulders above them, but you cannot even lift up your voice just because of your bank balance. You know, a wise man will save a city by his wisdom, yet he is set apart. That before you figure out your money game plan, everything else that you do doesn't really matter. After you figure out your purpose, the next thing that you must figure out is your money game plan. Not figuring out your money game plan is not only sabotaging your destiny, but it's also sabotaging the essence of the life that is you. As a matter of fact, I found a study by Harvard Business Review, and they were studying actually middle-aged Africans, and they found that those individuals who have written down financial objectives go ahead on to achieve all their life objectives.
That people who have written their objectives, right?
Money objectives. If you have money objectives written down, you are actually positioning yourself to accomplish your purpose in life.
Okay.
That the money pillar and the purpose pillar are significantly intertwined, and I'll tell you where the mission comes from. So it's a cold Wednesday evening. I've finished my errands from the day. At that time I was living on Mutangari Drive. So now I'm taking. I think I was taking Thika Road at that time because I was coming all the way from Garden City. We were trying to position some real estate investments and so on. And then I am driving down. I get into the highway. It's a very interesting day because I'm enjoying my climate control. Now, you know, climate control is different from AC. AC is like what you...
What is climate control for us who do not probably are used to AC?
But then let me even say it better because this story is so important, yeah? So AC is like what you get on Prado. Climate control is like what you get on GLE, Mercedes, and so on.
Oh,
yeah, it's a bit more... iodizing of the air and so forth. And you see, but I say that with so much pride because I'm a Mjengo man. Yeah, nobody ever helped me. Anybody should come and tell me who gave me any tender business anywhere. I want to be told, I want somebody to come and tell me if anybody gave us a tender business or if they're my big uncle who helped us anywhere. The Kenyan dream is alive.
Yes.
If you can put your head down and pursue the proper framework, you should be out in a minute.
Okay.
So I did that for many years, and I actually did come from Jengo business, and right now I have 2 master's degrees and I'm a PhD candidate.
Okay.
So the point is that anybody can do it. There's nothing unique and or special about me. There's what have I achieved? By the way, you will find my story is your story.
What
And
gave
my
you the
story
edge?
is our story.
What do you think gave you the edge?
I'm coming. There's even no edge.
There's no edge.
There's even no edge whatsoever because it's just an issue of what are you running from. By the way, your speed of running is purely dependent on what is chasing you. If it's a small goat chasing you, do you care? But if you have a lion behind your back, but I digress. I'm seated over there, I'm grabbing the steering, and you know the way sometimes when you're driving, your body is already embracing your, Egyptian wool, or which kind of bedsheet do you have, right? I'm already thinking about my Egyptian cotton. I'm going to relax and I'm going to have a beautiful
Satin.
dinner. Guess what happens? That annoying yellow light, kumbe, has been on my dashboard. So what do? As I'm approaching KC University, you know that KC University place, there's nowhere to pull off.
The outer ring area.
So you're on Thika Road. I'm driving down. I'm on my GLE. I'm sitting there alone in the car. Complete silence. I'm listening to this midnight train. Then I see the yellow light. So the yellow light had been there. Only I was not thinking about it.
You were listening to midnight train.
Yeah. So the car stops. This is about 2019 August, and I don't have fuel. Now, for the longest time, I've never even known I don't even know the price of it. I just go full tank, right? So this time, I now check my M-Pesa. I don't have M-Pesa balance. I don't have money. All of a sudden I realize, you see the way you know you're running out of cash, but your mind is not really there because you're so cash generative. You really don't care for it anymore, right? And this is my story 10 years after the hustle. Now, that evening I realized actually that I didn't have cash. Then I started now calling my friends to send me fuel money. So I didn't think about it for so long because I'm like, it's a small cash flow problem here. After all, I think I had checks, maybe 2.5 million shillings worth of checks that I needed to bank for the next week and so on and whatever it is. But 6 months down the line, the same thing happens again. The fuel problems, rent problems, and then they start compounding. They are the normal Kenyan problems. Then I begin to ask myself, how am I having? The last time I had rent problems was just when I was finishing those days of Mjengo. Then I got started hustling, started doing chicken business, movie business. They use normal Kenyan hustle, nothing. Actually, what matters is not the hustle. What matters is the system. So you have to move from sweat into system. So if you have a proper blueprint, the hustle is irrelevant. It really doesn't really matter what it is. You'll build wealth, and I'll be showing you exact blueprints of what I'm talking about. But I have a very big point here so that I answer your mission question. I realized one thing, that just because you are liquid or just because you have money does not mean you're rich. You see, that's now something that came and shocked me so much, my brothers. It was completely shocking. I could not even begin to explain to you the kind of shock I was in. In fact, that day I remember I was so let me tell you what happens next.
You have digressed, but okay, come back.
I'm still on the mission, on the mission.
Yes.
So one day I'm seated with my wife. I'm seated with my wife, and we are talking, and the pantry has been empty for a while, and it looks like things are not adding up. And then this was something like 2022, 2023. My wife asks me, where did all our money go?
Tough question, eh? And all along you've been liquid, and then bam.
Yeah, I remember my stomach knotting so hard. I can even taste the blood in my mouth because it was a shocker. That was actually a very good question. Where did the money go? So you see, before I thought that if you're liquid, if you have money in your bank account, you're buying all these stupid cars, holidays, properties, you're dressing, you are spraying on yourself names. I thought that's what wealth is. Yeah, you see, nobody told me that as long as the money in your bank account is not passive income, you are a vampire, and I'll demonstrate. You are a vampire because what's happening? And that's true even for the cameraman. That's true it's true for you, it's true for me. As long as the money that you have in your bank account, you leveraged your life. You took your life. You went. You took your body mercy. Today, umejibeba tu umeweka makeup kila kitu. You've come here. You've worked 8 to 5. You've been paid an income. And then that income, 50K, 100K, whatever it is, I hope you know that money in your bank account, that's not wealth. That's an indication of your life. It's a quantification. It's you measured what was your life worth this month, 100,000. What was your life worth that year, 1.2 million, assuming you're earning 100K net, right? So 12 months is 1.2 net. Is that 1.2, is that wealth, or is that is an indication of your life?
Yeah.
It's called capital. Now, imagine, do you know what we do? We take that money and we buy clothes with it. Yeah, we take that money and we go for holiday with it. You are drinking blood. You take money that you spent your hard time earning and you're now buying pizza. Now, remember, this is not a plan of stinginess. It's not a plan of stinginess. I'm trying to show you a structure.
Yeah.
And the structure is, when you are converting your life for cash, that resultant money is not wealth. Okay. That resultant money is an indication of your life. By the way, and this is there are only two things that are called capital. The first one is money, and we were told that in primary school it's called capital. Do you know which other thing is called capital? Capital punishment, capital death.
Okay.
It means then that money is your life. So you have to convert. It's a conversion cycle. You take your life, you convert it into capital. Then you take this capital and convert it into wealth. Then it is this wealth now that pays for your life. Now, anytime, that's why my community members are living on 50%. Yeah, you are living on 50%. You will walk with me for a few weeks. You start living on 50% because all of a sudden you will realize that every day there are only two positions you're taking. You're either taking the position of an assassin or a midwife. So when you spend your money, you're voting. You're voting for your future or against your future. So you want to convert your life into capital, then take that capital, convert it into a portfolio that will pay you the rest of your life without you ever lifting a finger. So consequently, you begin to see that when you start hustling, there has to be a date of exit. You can't be hustling endlessly. Like I ask you, how old are you now? Don't even answer. Let's even assume, right? But then do you know many people, Many people, especially if you're between 32 and 40, many of you have already handled all the money you needed to be free. So that's why I'm saying this point very strongly in Africa right now, that the amount of money you have is irrelevant. What builds wealth is structure. It is structure that builds what? I'll demonstrate further so that I finish this mission story. I'll demonstrate further. There are two journeys that all of us must take.
Yes.
We are born bound. Do you know that? Yeah, how do I know? As long as you have to work to pay for your life, you're a prisoner. You're just a prisoner who has the liberty of eating sausage once in a while. You're a prisoner who has the liberty of driving in a car. You know, we're in a country where you'll be told asset finance. It's liability finance. Somebody is telling you that you should come, we finance for you this car. It's an asset. Are you mad? It's a plan. Imagine you are drinking poison and you're even kissing the person giving you the poison. They're telling you, are you crazy? And what's the argument in town? The argument in town is that this car will help you make more money. You know, this car will improve your brand. This car will help you move around. You know what that sounds like? That sounds exactly like me. I'd be sitting in a business deal like this. We are about to close. Maybe I'm about to supply you sand. I was doing construction supplies. I'm about to see me in Mtwamjengo anyway. What else do I know? See, I'm about to supply you sand. I can see, like I supplied sand for this University of Nairobi Tower. Interesting, yeah? Now I'm supplying you sand, maybe 100 trucks of sand. One up for 3 million profit. Fantastic. In my mind, I'm already seeing how I'm buying suits in Suits Supply in Dubai Mall. As a matter of fact, while we're even talking, I'm even chatting the guy saying, I need those $2,000 Super 140 suits. Please prepare them. That's how it sounds. What happens if you don't? In fact, sometimes, do you know the madness? You even go and pay a deposit based on hope. You're like, see, I'm about to close something big in West. I might as well start spending.
Imaginary money.
Shock on you. That's exactly how it is. Somebody is telling you you should now buy a car because it will help you make more money. Show us empirical evidence that people who have cars make more money than those without. Get out of here, man. So now, so my point then is...
So wait, are you against asset financing at this point?
But that's not an asset. But is that an asset?
No, it's not.
It's not an asset. It is a big liability. So I am for take your money. take your life, convert it into capital, then take that capital and convert it into a portfolio that will pay you the rest of your life. So when I found myself at this place where I'm running, and it's your story also. It could be your story.
Yeah.
I'm running out of cash. I'm running out of fuel. I'm not paying. I wrote a small book called 14 Money Red Flags. If you want to know that you are completely unhealthy money-wise, yeah, and that book actually opened my eyes to very many things because those are my symptoms. So if you never pay your bills on time, there's something wrong with how you're handling your money. If you are afraid to look at your bank balances, your Pessa balances, there's something wrong. There's something wrong with your money. If you cannot survive, if you can't survive to live for 6 months without working, there's something, it's called emergency fund. There's something wrong. There's something wrong with your money. You see what I'm talking about? If you cannot tell me your top 5 spending areas with certainty, there's something wrong with your money. You see what I'm talking about? Do you know that when people are getting married, they will go for premarital counseling?
Yeah.
And then there's usually another class there where you go and check your blood compatibility, you check HIV, you check hepatitis B, you test everything else. I'm praying that they start testing financial intelligence as well.
Amen. It's a good...
So that you see if you are compatible financially.
Yeah. But what measure anyway? Yeah, that's a good one.
I'm glad you asked what measure. So in my deepest dark, I decided to say there is a reason. There is somewhere where the rain started to beat me. Now, I in my second master's degree, I was doing an MSc in finance, and I remember my professor told me that he that does not research must not speak, and began to tell us that you can predict the future by looking at the past. That a good study of the past will reveal to you exactly what will happen in the future, because the more things change, the more things stay the same.
It's a cycle, right?
You see what I'm talking about?
Whatever
happens again.
Yeah.
So I went into an inquiry, and my inquiry is, what is the equation formula for the average African? Because many of us, we don't have Sudi's number. Many of us, we don't have British education.
Yeah.
We don't have it. Many of us, we don't have big names. Many of us, we don't have the advantage of bloodline. Many of us don't have parents who left for us millions. Many of us didn't give us connection. But do you realize all those things are what Congolese called nasoso yeye, which is an African word that means rubbish for rubbish. It's all rubbish. You don't need all that. You don't need networks. If you are looking at the wealth formula, networks is nowhere. You see what I'm talking about? So my inquiry was, I got into a research exercise that now went ahead to examine what then is the African wealth formula.
Is this a personal research?
This is a research I decided to take to answer my questions. What did I get wrong? And then I quickly realized, for instance, let me ask you a question. This one will shock you to your core. Did you know just because you're a woman, you have a 15% chance to die in poverty?
I do.
Just because you're a woman.
I'm a woman, yes.
Let me tell you another one. Just because you're a woman, okay. Did you know if you're a female and you had some trauma in your life, now that percentage goes to 30%? Yeah. Did you know if that trauma is sexual? Recently, somebody abused me. Somebody abused me. They should have asked me on comments, where is the research I show you? So MIT is the one that did the research among Nairobi women. And they actually found that if you're an African woman who had trauma and that trauma was sexual, you have a 76% chance of dying in poverty. You see what I'm talking about? Now, how does it express itself? It expresses itself by you taking high interest personal debt that you will not pay. So in your mind, you think you're solving an economic problem every time you're taking debt. But what is actually happening is that your subconscious has been predisposed to self-sabotage. You're like these people who cut their wrists. But yours is expressing itself in a tacit manner. Leave that one. Did you know if you're an African male, right, that grew up in an environment that is illiquid, i.e. rent is paid late, sometimes once in a while your power is cut, you can eat either protein or carbohydrate, but not both. I don't know if you understand what I'm talking about, right? And if that was your childhood and you grew up with illiquidity, do you know that produces financial trauma that causes you to be price insensitive to high interest personal debt? That means that you will be taking loans and you don't even understand. And I can demonstrate it further. Do you know many broke people, when you ask them how much money they have, they also count the loan limits. The loan limits they have. Oh, yeah. Exactly. You see what I'm doing? Yeah? They count the loan. I don't want to say the brands here. I don't want to say the brands because of obvious reasons.
Yeah,
But so you will say in my mobile money wallet I have 2,000, and then in this app I have this. So when they tell you I have 20K, what they really mean is if I take all the loans that are available for me. Are you seeing what I'm talking about? So I began to wonder, wait a minute, there are nuances to this thing. It's not as straight line, it's not as obvious. So your wealth journey is as bespoke as your fingerprint. So my inquiry was, what then are the telling variables? If today we were to say, what are the variables of a good wife? What are the variables of a good husband? I know you have very many things to say. Or what are the variables of a good boyfriend?
A good
He should send tall, dark, and handsome.
Anyway,
must send money.
Yes.
Must pay for hair. Must respect
all
the parents. Yeah. Or you want all those without cash?
No, for me, I'm different. But that is just the usual.
I love it. Yeah, there's the usual
stuff.
Yeah. So there are some telltale signs of what a good boyfriend is. So there are also some telltale signs of how your financial health is. Can you imagine? Yeah. So what I discovered in that inquisition is completely something that has completely blown my mind, and now is something that I'm applying in my community members. All our community members, they know their financial health score. It could be that you have Ebola financially and you don't know. Or you have malaria. So we check you. We put you in a financial fitness health test that checks 1,600 unique variables. And then what that does, it takes 15 minutes. What that does then is that we are able to locate you to the T. Once we know exactly where you are, it's called, we're calling it Cora. You can check it out right now. Cora Wealth, corawealth.com. When you go there, so what we do then is that once we know where you are by Dr. Dweck's model of situational theory. Where are you today? Where do you want to go? What is the obstacle, right? So we then crystallize about 4 to 6 different distinct paths that will show you how then do I get from where I am to where I want to go. Then we even run a Monte Carlo simulation to check what is the possibility of you getting to that particular location. The whole thinking here is the following, that where you are today can change, but it will not change by wishful thinking. But then let me ask you a question. How would life be if all your bills would be paid for?
If you had everything.
How would it be? It would really be nice. Life would be so nice, right? If everything could be paid for, your house is paid for, your clothes are paid for, you can travel, you even become, some people are not bad husbands. They just have a financial, logistical challenge. Therefore who are not, it's not that they're not romantic. They are very, your boyfriend is very romantic, baby, but he has a financial logistical challenge.
His heart is willing.
But the pocket is unwilling. He's not aligning. So I will now shock you. Can I shock you?
Yes.
That you see, what if somebody could pay for everything and life would be so nice? Do you know who that somebody is? That somebody is you.
Yeah.
So we now have a defined model of just hustling for 2 parts. Remind me, tell you about the 2 parts. I've hustled for a few years and you're completely financially free. So this fitness test goes through that. We are able to check even your money personality. We check your money personality. For instance, do you know, I said land is not an investment for many ordinary Kenyans, but it can be an investment depending with where you are on your financial journey. So once you have at least $100,000 net worth, even your scope of financial assets of consideration begin to increase. But nobody knows these things. I want to even challenge, go and ask your banker to tell you the different investment options at different wealth classes. They don't know. You see what I'm talking about? Because it's not something that is obvious. So when you begin to see that path definition is 80% of the destination, let me tell you, it doesn't matter how fast you accelerate towards Kilimanjaro. If you're going to Kitale, baby, you could have the fastest car, but you're accelerating towards the wrong direction. So the point is, once you know your financial fitness test, once you know your financial health, then you immediately know what are the mitigative aspects that you need to begin to do. For instance, let me just give you one small example, then we proceed. Just one tiny one. For instance, one of your biggest advantages in this wealth journey is going to be not your calves, but your brain. Okay? Yeah, I'm speaking like that because I'm speaking to my generation. Yeah, your biggest asset.
Not your calves,
your
but
biggest
brain.
asset. Your biggest asset is you. right? So your bigger is you, meaning anything that feeds your mind should be a priority for you, right?
Yes.
Okay. So Oxford University studied Indian rice farmers in India, and they repeated the same study with Luo rice farmers here in Ahero, where
Are
even
you
my
serious
mom.
though? This is a serious study.
100%, yes.
Okay.
And they
I'm
were not.
intrigued now.
Don't think they were studying poverty. No, they were just studying payment cycles. And the idea is, if you understand how rice works, it's in seasons.
Yes.
So you have these 9 months of planting, working, and so on. On the 10th month, you're paid, but that payment should last you literally at the next year until you're paid the next time. Do you know what they found? They actually found that every time the farmers are paid, they have 3 months of genius. Their intelligence increased by 15% every time they had money in their bank account. You see now? So we now take that. You see, that is a proven hard fact. So we take that engineering and crystallize for you something called peace of mind fund. So the first job, for instance, for anybody, even if you're listening to us today, I want you to do this. Just go and open an account and make sure you have $1,000 in that account at every one time. It doesn't matter if you're a butcherman, if you're whatever you are. Just put 100K somewhere that you can't touch, and it's there, and you can see it constantly. It improves your intelligence. So that is already a path optimization. While you will tell me, why don't you get politician's number? Why don't you go to school? You know, networks are net worth. I'll slap you. There are things that you can do today that will grant you the advantage. One of them is that liquidity improves intelligence. What are you talking about? So some people, it's not that they don't see opportunities. It's just that they're broke. Yeah. You see what I'm talking about? By the way, there's a study by Harvard that they studied African males. They found that individuals that are not yet financially independent can't even access their gifting. So the gifting, yeah.
Oh,
so if I ask you what's your gift right now, what's your talent? Many people don't know. And you think you're not gifted. It's not that you're not gifted. It is the cloud of poverty that has clouded even your intelligence and your superiority. Now, the funny thing is, your gifting, your purpose is your true power for revenue generation. When you start entering your gifting, you stop becoming an individual. You become a commodity.
Yes.
People who enter your gifting is your gold. You know, when you are selling your gifting, it will never end. Are you hearing what I'm talking about? But before you're financially independent, you can't even access your gifting. So accessing your gifting for me becomes a very strong job to do, but we can't do it if you're bound.
Yes.
So you have to do your first part, which is your financial independence. How long will it take you for you to be financially free? Whether you're earning 30,000, you're earning 100K, you're earning 2 billion. That's your first journey. That's your first job. Your first job is to break the shackles of having to work to pay for your life. You can't talk about building wealth.
It sounds really amazing. It sounds very doable. But is it as easy as it sounds? Or what path? Or I'm a normal person.
Yeah.
You've talked to me. You know,
our community currently has 4,000 members. I'm not talking, forget Instagram. I'm talking about WhatsApp channel. Come and speak to my community members. All of them, people. I have mentees who are guards. I have a young mentee who works as a waitress in a kibanda this place in Gara. Yeah, I have mentees in South everywhere. We have about maybe 4,800 people who are now on their wealth journeys. 100%. So this thing, people say it's so easy to be true. It's not easy to be true. So you start doing right now. So my point is that building wealth is neither difficult nor hard. Money is all around you. It is everywhere. By the way, who told you that you don't have the right to have all the money that you want to have?
Nobody.
Who told you? Dr. Dweck, who's a German psychologist, actually crystallized 3 kinds of mindsets. And the strongest, he said, is called the growth mindset. Do you know what the growth mindset says? The growth mindset is the idea that anywhere I am in life can change. And that change is dependent on the actions that I do. So you now begin having decisions that stack and align with your financial journey. Yeah. By the way, I hope you know financial decisions are easier than relationship decisions, because the punishment of financial decisions are immediate. Yeah. So if you choose sherehe, you have landlord to deal with at the end of the month. So some people are disciplined not because they are very disciplined, it's because of the landlord is a present. Is a present motivation. Now, what our financial fitness test does, it shows you how your life will be, so that we move you from motivation. Many people accuse me of being a motivation speaker, as if I ever motivated anybody. Who have I motivated? I'm not a motivation speaker. No, I'm not. Those are not motivated individuals. Those are laser-focused African professionals who are about to slaughter poverty in their bloodline. There's no motivation there. Motivation does not last more than a week. But motivation, you listen to us, you're very motivated, but we move from
you feel
motivation.
nice.
We get into discipline. But discipline has limitations. Because what happens is there's something called the pain of discipline, that only 8% of adults can actually withstand the pain of discipline. That, of course, explains why everybody wants a beautiful body, yes or no? Yes. But why don't you that not all of us have it? The pain of discipline, right? But what our test does, we move you from discipline into clarity. For instance, if I went to your wardrobe, I will not find men clothing by mistake. Like you can't say once in a while you forget you're a woman. Because it's not that you are motivated. Are you motivated you're a woman? No. It's not a knowing. You are aware. I call it clarity. You are clear. So when you're buying mascara, you are clear because it's not maybe I'm a man, maybe I'm not. So once I show you that your wealth is in your hands. By the everywhere I go, even these guys, if you just walk with me for a few months, you won't even have employees here. Because what happens is the amount of money is irrelevant. But now the funny thing is, once you get into the system of building wealth, all of a sudden you realize that you are shortcutting your true ability. Once you have a proper goal, you will now all of a sudden see. It's madness. I have students who have moved from Lavington. And the reason is fake life. You are living in La Vie, but you never have money. You never have cash. You're even the rent here, you're never liquid. You're driving this car, you're never liquid. My students are moving to Umo. I talk about Umoja a lot. My students are moving to outside Nairobi, let me say like that, so that
Just
nobody will come and accuse.
manage,
Yes, guys are moving into bedsitters because I came and showed them, baby, let me tell you, do you know where your wealth is? Your wealth is in that stupid house you don't need. Your wealth is in the sewage. All this fine dining you're posting on Instagram, all of it is rubbish. It's not a plan of stinginess.
Yes.
I'm saying take your capital, convert it into a portfolio. After 6-7 years, which restaurant won't you go to? You see what I'm talking about now?
Restaurants will
and
even
then
call you.
it will be, like for example, a life of 300,000 shillings. That's a portfolio of between 15 to 18 million. Sawa. Your portfolio of 15 to 18 million, I can show you exactly how to build that portfolio in 7 to 9 years. Yeah, starting from where you are. You see what I'm talking about? Then that portfolio is paying you that 300K every month. You can even take that money and throw it. For you, it means nothing because that money will be paid to the rest of your life without you lifting a finger. We start with growth stocks, we get into stability stocks, diversification stocks, convert that into income stocks, diversify you into bonds and cash flow positive real estate. That time you are now sitting as solid as the Kenyan foundation itself. Like nothing, nobody can change your financial independence at that point. You see the way you can't change the independence rate of this country. That's now how your financial watches will be looking like. We have already passed you across through financial assets. You're now sitting on true passive income, which is bonds and cash flow positive. Who will ever make you Who will ever make you broke again? We have slaughtered now.
Yeah,
the reason why I am the reason why I'm so incentivized with that is because I have found a way to touch your bloodline for life. Because once you're free, it's over. My community members will tell you how we build our investments. We even put contracts on top. I use very big law firms. I even put contracts on top that even if you give up on this journey, you can't even break your own investment. You can't. Yeah. But
You're bound.
You're completely bound. But we've built you up first with emergency fund to deal with your emergencies, to deal with your ad hoc opportunities, to deal with your excesses. Right? Yes. Purely depending on your mental framework. So the financial fitness test will reveal to us your mentality, your background, what drives you, so we know the good buffer to keep you comfortable. The second thing, we get into protection. We ensure your risks. Once those two are covered, you have no reason to break your investment. The average investment period of many Kenyans is 3 years. So between year 2, year 3, people want to break. And the problem is, anytime you break your investment in a buyer's economy, you're losing 30%. Those are rock hard facts. So you take a haircut. So the problem is, you entered into an investment, you've broken the investment, you took a haircut, your test for investment is destroyed for life. So for you now, you'll say investments are a sham. But we'll meet when you're 50 years. You will be completely big with the capital B for bitter. Because just that you messed your investment up does not mean investment has not worked. So we even put contracts on top to ensure that you are going to reach that destination.
Great. Wow. Okay. That's amazing. Back to your mission. Yeah, that is a mission?
That is the mission. The mission is to bury poverty in the morning,
Yes.
and to lift 1 million Africans. My number is on my Instagram profile. That's how bold I am with this thing. You reach out to me. Don't say that, you are talking, you are saying, this is King Gereza Mingi. Reach out. Let's do it. Reach out to me on my, reach out, even DM. I have 5 people looking at my DMs. Reach out to me today. We start your journey. Instead of saying it's not working, say it's not working after you've done it.
Yeah.
And it will not be working because of you.
Okay. Let's go back to the stocks bit. You've mentioned there's a whole path that you take them through. So you've mentioned there's the growth stocks, the income. Just take us through that a bit.
Okay, fantastic. So when you talk about wealth, what is it? What is it? So wealth really, foundationally, I'm talking about financial wealth. Don't come at me with those things of happiness and so on. And by the before your financial independence, why do you want to be happy? Just give me an answer. Like, what's the reason to be happy? Somebody said you need to take a little break. A break from what?
From what?
You start taking a break once you break free from poverty, baby. Before you break free from poverty, you don't even have a right to take any break.
Yeah.
And if you don't, this is the coalition of the willing. If you don't like how I'm talking, you go and listen to some entertainment, go out and watch podcasts. This is a place for people who are focused and guys who are serious about becoming free.
Yes.
Remember, again, let me ask you a question. If today you're in committee prison, sawa, uko committee prison, and I come and tell you, guess what? It's your lucky day. You're about to be set free. You're going to be free, but there are only 2 conditions. Here's condition 1. By the way, this very afternoon, we will take you. You will be at maybe you'll be at Sir Henry. You'll shower, beautiful suit, everything you want, no issue. Even beautiful leather shoes, even crocodile leather, or fantastic leather shoes, no problem. But there's only one condition. The condition is you never have to watch TV ever again, and you never have to touch your phone ever again. Let me ask you a question. Is there a dilemma there? There's no dilemma. You are in death row. You'll be like, what? That is the most easy thing. There is no dilemma whatsoever. Do you know why many of us are married to our suboptimal money behaviors? It is because we don't see clearly what is at stake. The day you see that you're in maximum remand prison, where for you to even go and see your mother, you have to write an email. You're going to see your mom, but you have to write an email, and many times that email afterwards a lie. You have to bury your uncle.
You're very anxious even before you write the email.
Everybody. It is with sad reflection that I reach out to you, my darling HR.
My dear employer.
My dear employer. I must say here, ab initio, that I really appreciate this job, and this email must not be in any shape or form be construed to mean otherwise.
Do not let this one day
Don't let this, Regretfully, my uncle, who I love very much, who even used to sing for me when I was in my mother's womb, has now transitioned.
You literally
I request 3 days. Na unaniambia sasa wewe hiyo ndo life yako, and you still want to go for which holiday are you going for? Get out of here completely. Get out of here. Yeah. So the mission is to break the curse of poverty. And to show my community members knows this, to show our comrades there's nothing wrong with our country. I know you don't want to hear the sound of that, but me, I'm my own man. I'm not holding brief for anybody. First of all, I want you to know that Kenya is the number 1 country in Africa right now. If you have a different thought, tell us then which the number 1 country is, and give us your reasons. When we come to infrastructure, show us which country. Do you know there are African countries where they tell their young ones, if you want to go to Europe, just go to Kenya? You don't even know you don't know the country you have, right? This is how about the number of banks? Do you know how many banks we have in this country? 43. Show me which other country has banks like this one. What about capitalization? What about qualified labor? Why is it that if you go to our Tanzanian brothers and our Ugandan brothers, who's running their organizations? Is it not Kenyan executives? What are you talking about? We are sitting in this country, so there is nothing wrong with this country. Of course, you have your different political views, and political problems require political solutions, and we are engaging politically. But do you realize that economic power beats political power in the long term? Do you agree?
Yes.
Your political power is cyclic. So while the politician is powerful only for 2 cycles, for a period of time. I went ahead and found a study that showed actually that economic power triumphs political power by 8,500%. What are you talking about? You are better off engaging in economic activities, because ultimately that economic activity will come and set you free, and you'll even gain the ascendancy on political power. You see what I'm talking about? Ultimately, politics is a game of cash, is it not?
It is.
So the person who fixes their money game plan, that person is stronger than any. I used to think, and I'm speaking to my community members, comrades, I used to think that, being an MCA is such a good idea. It's a way out, right? Or
it's the beginning.
Or it's the beginning, or becoming an MP. If I could just become an MP, my family is out. But what is that? It's almost like we have culturalized, because it's a plan of thievery.
Yes.
It's not a plan of the reason why I'm out is because I'm such a good MP. I'll be given so much bonuses. Consequently, I'll now become rich for life. No, it's a plan of how am I going to how am I? But now we are now. I've now and I said how much money comes in does not matter. I've given a story of this client of mine who used to be an MP, and after you have heard that story somewhere, and after he came out of power, he completely collapsed. But I can't reveal so much. But it is me coming to save him with financial structure of just what he had. Right now, the man said he doesn't even want to run for politics anymore because whatever he was looking for in politics, I've shown him how to get it with just where he is right now. Yeah. But is in this a country where a previous deputy governor is now by the street selling firewood? So and he was moving around with 18 V8s. I mean, how many V8s can you sit in? Surely 18 V8s. He said it. He gave the interview on live television. It's on my story. You see what I'm talking about? So you are planned to become a politician thinking that that's the way out. Baby, a crocodile in Kisumu is a crocodile in Nairobi. A frog in Kisumu is a frog. Don't think that because the frog has now moved from the village to Nairobi, you'll become an eagle. Deal with your biology where you are right now. Become an eagle now first. Remember again, where your mind cannot go, your life will never experience the wealth that you have. So desire becomes a very big thing. There's this book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I don't know if you have read it. Please find some time and read it. And he anchors his whole thesis. That's a book that has sold 20 million copies. He anchors his whole thesis on this idea that desire is the first step of wealth creation. So many people, you don't really desire wealth. You desire to impress your friends.
Desire having money. Really.
You desire having money. You're not thinking about wealth. And the problem of desiring having money, you know what will happen? You will have money. You won't have wealth. And then shortly, it will be gnashing of teeth. So you desire to go to Dubai. That's what you desire. You desire to drive big cars. You desire to smell nice. That's what you desire. You desire to have a rich boyfriend or a rich girlfriend. You desire to live in a big place. Your desire is wrong. That's the problem. And you are spending so much. I'm speaking to the manifesting generation now, right? You are spending so much time manifesting the result instead of manifesting the foundation. Stop manifesting the experience of the house. Manifest the house. You see what I'm talking about? Yeah, manifest the house, because the house will deliver the experience all the time.
The desire.
Precisely. So the foundation is you have to desire wealth. And what is wealth? Portfolio. Yeah. That's what wealth is. Wealth is the ability. Me, when I see some Altman announcing here a ChatGPT agency, I dance properly because I know it's working for me. When I see the MD of KCB Bank, Angela Tilite on the financial side coming over here saying, we have done this profit, we are about to pay, I clap my hands. They are working for me. Do you know, using financial assets, you can get the whole world working for you, including of South African mining companies right now. They're working for me because I've taken position on mining stocks. So when they're announcing their profit, I am clapping my hand. They're working for me. When I'm watching news, why are we watching CNBC News all the time? Because I want to see how much money we've made. All the people are working for you. Now remember, they can work for you too. And you don't need to have even more than 10,000 shillings. I showed. And anybody who has a different view, let's debate. I showed it. It's on YouTube. How you can use 10,000 shillings to cash flow 140,000 shillings the rest of your life without lifting a finger. Now let me ask you a question. Who you want to tell me you don't have 10,000? Who doesn't have 10,000 shillings? Even an Askari has 10,000 shillings. Now, do you know a life of 140,000 shillings per month, you are easily in the top 5% of Kenyans. Only 2% of Kenyans have more than 100,000 shillings in their bank account. In their bank account. Meaning, if we counted 100 people here, only 2 of us have at least 100K in their bank account. How many have
not embarrassing.
liquid cash? Are you seeing what I'm talking about now? What are you talking?
Back to the portfolio.
Yeah, so we talk about wealth.
Yes.
Yeah, we talk about wealth. We talk about portfolio.
Let's not talk about the
let's talk
stocks
about the
you focus
portfolio.
on.
Yeah, fantastic. So depending pending 1952, something very strong, powerful happened. In 1952, there was a scholar called Henry Markowitz. Henry Markowitz is the one who invented the idea called the balanced portfolio. And the main idea there is that when assets are looked at together, they outperform those assets that are looked at separately. Okay. That is where you get the English adage saying that you cannot put your eggs in one basket. That's what it is. So basically, the idea is that you have to diversify. But that diversification, when you begin to stress, if you look at those regression models and you want now to check what is actually the implication for an ordinary individual, you will quickly find that balanced portfolio begins to happen when beyond $100,000 net worth. So before $100,000 net worth, you need to be in growth assets. So now let's talk about the assets. So financial assets are those assets that are not physical in the regard of land, for instance, which is called hard assets, right? So financial assets, I'll give you a couple of them. There people would say there are 5, there people would say there are 6, there people would say there are 7, depends on how you're looking at it. Yeah. So the number one is stocks. What people call equities, which is basically taking a position on ownership of a company. Okay, did you know right now in Kenya, you can access not only, that's why I said Kenya is on top. We are now the financial hub of this continent. Yeah, we are mentoring all African countries on this subject, right? So you can access equities of everything in the world. You can buy anything in the world right now. Yes. So equities is one. So you're either buying stocks, so when you buy stocks, there are 2 things you're looking for. You're looking for the capital appreciation and you're looking also for dividends. Okay, so that's stocks. Fantastic. Then sometimes, once in a while, you can say, I don't want to buy individual stocks, but I want to buy all the stocks in a market. That's called an index, right? So an index is basically an asset class that puts together all the stocks in that particular market. For instance, if you look at the US, they have something called the S&P 500, which I've investigated heavily. So the S&P 500 is basically a fund that buys a slice of the top 500 companies in the US. And the argument is simple. The argument is ultimately all the money that is circulating in the US will go back to these 500 companies. Yeah. But I'll shock you, for instance, do you know all the what is this thing for women washing hair? All the shampoo in the world is owned by only 4 companies, including even that shampoo you see some random place in Kitu. It's only owned by 4.
Even the ones made by someone at home.
No. With relevant assumptions.
I get you.
That's what I'm talking about. So you have the index. For instance, the Nairobi Stock Index, another one. The Nairobi Stock Index last year, what did it do? Can I tell you? 35%. So what's the Nairobi Stock Index? The Nairobi Stock Index is basically the 63. It's a fund that buys all the 63 listed companies in the Nairobi Stock Exchange. So that's an index. Okay, so you have equities, you have index. Then you can also buy government paper, which is you can talk about bonds, you can talk about bills. So you have treasury bonds, you have treasury bills. The bonds are long term, the bills are short term. But you can also buy commercial paper that is now for corporate. So you can buy corporate bonds. Now, depending on the strength of the corporate and how the corporate has been listed and categorized, then that tells you how efficacious that bond is, right? For instance, there are companies like there's this company. What is the name of this company that gives loans? I'm sure you know it. Let's not mention it here. Okay. But they did raise a bond of about 15 billion, which was oversubscribed by 22B, right? So bonds are beautiful because those are income generating assets. Okay, so I talked about stocks, I've talked about index, I've talked about bonds, I've talked about commercial paper. Fantastic. Then you have REITs, which is real estate investment trust. So it's basically, it's either maybe you could have a D rate, which is a development rate, or an I rate, which is an investment rate, and so on. So those are the financial assets that you can get into play with. Now, remember again, there's a very big, should I say, there's a very big knowledge gradient. Yeah. But nobody ever told you, let me ask you, if today you are going and you're telling the pharmacy that, pharmacy, I'm having a lot of stomach pains. Are you asking for a lesson in stomach biology or stomach anatomy, or do you want medication? It's medication you want. So there is no requirement for you to have any depth of understanding in these assets. You just need to have an awareness of them, and then you come to people like Scope Markets, you come to people like myself, we tell you what to do. You don't need to do it yourself. By the way, despite me shouting loudly like this, I will never forever buy one stock like this myself. Never. Yeah, because I understand the principle of leverage. So I leverage somebody else's intelligence. There are firms here in this country that they wake up every day. They have R&D. They have, they even have CMA up in their business to make sure they're doing everything correct. So you use these funds. These guys, they're doing the right job. I can show you exactly which funds to use. We place for my community members. Once we do your financial fitness test, the second thing we do is we now crystallize a wealth plan, which is a 10-year step-by-step process of exactly what to do so that you come out, right? Then after that, we put you now on which funds. If every fund is good for something, so we look at the funds that are there and we decide to you which one makes sense for you. But despite all that, so you realize then that that is just the infrastructure. It's like saying that is the school. Now, what is taught on the school is purely based on the efficacy of your strategy. So, depending on your objectives, again, wealth is built by objectives. It's very important. Wealth is built by objectives. One of the things that our financial fitness test does is that it positions you among the 22 top objectives globally, at least for building wealth is concerned, right? So once you know your objectives, then we now know that year 1 to year 3 is growth stocks, for instance. That means these are those stocks that have the highest capital appreciation possibility. It means, so basically it means then that the market sentiment of that stock is such that it's going to grow at least in the short term. So those are growth stocks. Their risk is a bit higher, but their return is much, much higher. By the way, as long as you're below 40, you can eat risk properly. It doesn't. So you want to be in those particular. Again, remember, many of those growth financial securities are normally stocks because those are the ones. You see, bonds, you have a par value, you have a predefined cash flow. That thing is never more than 12%. It is what it is. It's already defined. But when you come to equities, that thing could go. I'm sure one of you guys saw it, a 54% return on an equity fund. So that is a fund that has gone and purchased a collection of equities or a collection of stocks. This particular one has purchased a collection of stocks in South Africa. Because you see, in Kenya, after the banking stocks and the telco stocks, what else do you have? But when you go to SA, you have mining stocks there. You have gold stocks. You see what I'm talking about? So they have taken a position. So this equity fund has taken a position on, and again, there are 3 types of equities. You have local equities, meaning local companies. You have regional equities, meaning regional companies. And then you have continental, which is continental, and then you have global equities, right? So these guys, what they did, they went and took a position on continental equities in SA and Nigeria. That fund did 54%. It's on my YouTube. I even revealed which one it is. Go and check it. It's there right now. So if your objective is fast, since you have little money, let's first grow that money as soon as possible. So year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, we are just putting it on growth, right? And then after that, we now get into stability securities. Okay. Ultimately, we want to get into income securities. Income securities are those securities that cash flow you an income, and the beautiful ones are rates and bonds, right? But ultimately, for our community, we are buying 10,000 apartments. You can join us if you like. So we are buying 10,000 cash flow positive apartments. So basically, you're able to enter real estate for the price of an iPhone. That's our value proposition, and it is. But the problem is as and when, because we just don't buy anything. We only buy investment grade real estate. That means that the day you put your money, we are earning. So there is a very, should I say, IP engineering that we have deployed to it. And as and when it's available, my community members know it. We post it there. We say, like right now, we have 5 apartments we are looking at on Kiambu Road. I think by yesterday, it was fully subscribed. And the reason is we buy and hold and wait. So in 10 years, if you just put in $1,000, something like 120,000 shillings. You put 120K. In 10 years, that 120K jumped to about 600K, and then we start paying you 60K. The rest of your life from that one apartment. You see what I'm talking about? And where is the risk? They show me the risk. There's no risk. Somebody say, it's a sham. By the Dr. Dweck did find something. I quoted her earlier. They found. I told you about the growth mindset. There's another mindset called the scarcity mindset. Do you know Can I tell you what is the rallying line of the scarcity mindset? That is a sham. It's good to be too good to
it's
be
a
true.
scam.
It's a scam. Yeah, you have been scammed so much. Everything is a scam, including your name now.
Yeah. Okay. But I bet you get that a lot also, considering Kenya's how they are.
It's irrelevant to me.
It's okay.
There's nothing I'm selling. I'm
that.
selling that. There's nothing I'm selling. This is the coalition of the will. I'm on my mission to answer my wife. Where did all our money go? I'm on my mission to rescue my family. I'm going hard for my bloodline. If you feel like joining me, let's do it together. But if you don't feel like you remain where you are, there's nothing I'm selling. Yeah. So somebody one day came and told me, why do you post every day? Your content will end. I said, but I'm not doing content. You maybe you are doing content. Your content will end. No, I'm talking about
the
person. I'm like, maybe you are doing me. I'm not doing which content. I don't have enough places to tell you this story of building wealth. I don't have enough time to show you how much the work that is ahead us is easy work. But the problem is if you're not aware of it. For example, have you seen in India these elephants that are tied to a seat?
Yeah.
And they will not even bother lift their trunk even for 2 seconds because they have been trained all their life that it is so hard to remove your trunk from this thing. You will break yourself into two before. But that happened on their fathers. It is the early elephants that were chained. And they were chained all the time. And every time they would try to remove themselves, they would get so physically injured that they stopped training, and they have now passed that suboptimal behavior to the smaller elephants. So while the elephant has all the strength to tear the whole house in a second without even feeling anything, it does not know. That is the person I'm speaking to. All the strength let me tell you see that when you enter a place, like you go to Serena or you go to Muthaiga or wherever you go, and you feel like you want to live in that house, let me tell you, that is not, you're not jealous. Your spirit is telling you where you belong. So your body needs to catch up. Begin taking now decisions that align. Anytime you go somewhere and you feel you belong here, believe that story.
It's not
I'm telling you, no, it's not which coveting. You're casting vision. Which coveting? How will it be coveting? And God has already told you that He was speaking to the ear and He said, where you put your feet, there I will give you. Sasa wewe umecovet nini?
Unaweza kufeel vibaya.
Apana, let me tell you, you'll be very shocked. People who are owning things that you'll never even think about, they're not as intelligent as you. How about you now? You Kenyans, especially Kenyans, which country has more education than this country? We can educate everybody, Nigerians, Tanzanians, South Africans. We can debate them on any subject. Even on the spot, we even want. These Tanzanians, they don't even know us. This guy, we can even start discussing here world history right now. We can discuss economics, finance, agriculture. They will not even hear the word. They don't even have the understanding to get the words. It's on a light note. You see what I'm trying to say? I'm just trying to say that this country, so that people don't hate on me. Africa. I have African mentees everywhere, right? But our forefathers invested in this country, and we have possibly one of the most educated generations and workforces in the continent. I'm not trying to downplay everybody else. I'm just saying that's the reality. But some of us, that education, what are you doing with it?
That's true.
You see what I'm talking about? Yeah. But you'll be very shocked. The amount of energy you need to con KRA, that energy can build you wealth. And you just pay tax fees. You don't need to cheat. You see, cheating KRA is not a clever way of making money. That energy you're using for wash. Baby, that energy is sufficient to build wealth.
Okay, wow. Okay, last parting shot. You've mentioned a number of things, yeah? What would you, what are some of the things now you would want us as individuals to highlight? Like, what should we stop doing? No, in a summary. Okay.
That is very painful for somebody like me.
I know.
Because I don't even know how to summarize. I don't even know how to stop. I've been accused of being a poor communicator because I mix so many ideas. But I say it's a coalition of the willing. If you don't like how he communicates, you go and listen to somebody else. Yeah, because again, remember, I'm communicating with an objective. I believe with all my heart that the biggest asset is the asset that you're overlooking. That asset is you. How do I know you're overlooking that asset? For example, are you proud of what you do? Somebody can ask you, what is it that you do? We're just here hustling. I'm those guys, I'm in the construction, I'm building, I'm a builder. Or somebody asks you, I got this example from one of my digital mentors, and somebody asks you, what is it that you do? Like, yeah, we are in the real estate industry. I'm currently part of a project that is going up 79 floors. Can you imagine? We are using finishes from Italy, Spain, and Japan. We are only using grade 1 concrete. It's such an exciting project. By the way, there are only 10 such buildings in the world like that.
Oh, that person loves it.
You see what I'm talking about? Yeah. Let me tell you, there's no disadvantage with what you... And it could be omena. It could be chicken. It could be movies. It could be career coaching. It could be training children. It could be butchery. I've done butchery business. You can't tell me about Nini, about slaughtering beef. I even have owned butcher. I've sold mutura. Fresh cuts butchery at Pipeline. There's nothing you can tell me about the hustle. If you touch my hands are very rough because I'm a Mchengo man. You see what I'm talking about? Let me tell you, the asset called you. You are the asset that you should be waiting for. The person you've been waiting for, in the words of Barack Obama, is you. You are your biggest advantage. You are your biggest. That someone who could pay for everything and life will become beautiful. That someone is you. The advantage, the biggest advantage that you can utilize to build wealth today is you. You see what I'm talking about? So go hard on those things that feed who you are, on those things that feed your spirit, on those things that feed your mind, on those things that feed your... Listen, we don't have time. You don't even have time. Once you get into this financial journey, even these things for jealousy collapses. Because we become comrades. You are slaughtering poverty your side, I'm slaughtering poverty my side. I come and tell you, guess what, the guys? This month, you won't believe it. This month, I've put $3,000 away. You're like, what? Next month, me. Next month, even me. Right now, my community members are rushing to live on 10%. Everybody is rushing to live on 10% because you know that 50%, 60%, 70% you're paying for your future now. It's not money that is living your life. You see what I'm talking about? We have this principle called you touch money once. Any money that you touch once, you should never ever lose it. You should never. Anything that has where is it going? That's why you must live on 50%. So that I wish somebody told me this thing in high school. Why do you think I'm spending time in universities? The wealth letters? Because I wish somebody told me this thing. Nikiingia first year, forget first year, Form 1. So that when I look at my portfolio right now, I should see half of that 20 shillings my mom gave me when I was in Form 1. There was no reason for that money to have left my life. None whatsoever. Why is it living my life? You see what I'm talking about? So the biggest asset for wealth creation is you. Once I'm done with this nation, you will see all these political desires, we are going to crash it. All this debt for consumerism is going to collapse. Why? Because you will quickly see that all the help that you need is within you.
Amazing. That's it in a nutshell, really. It's just all about you, yeah? And how can I join your community?
100%. So it's very easy. What you do, you just come to my Instagram, hit me up. There's a place for me, there's a DM, or you can give us an email on wealth@stanagacho.com. The first step is we will check your financial fitness. Yeah, we want to know you. We want to investigate the source of your poverty.
Usually triage,
yes, there's a triage, it's a filtering. So once you enter through the door, many people usually say, okay, I've joined now. Why are you charging me to do this financial fitness test? That's exactly your problem. If you don't want to pay, you go. Continue just doing what you're doing. That's the mindset that I am now curing.
Yes.
You don't want to pay for anything, and you are shocked that nobody wants to pay you anything as well. You don't recognize value, and consequently, nobody recognizes value in you. Do you know only he that waters has a right to be watered? If you're not watering anybody, why should you be watered? Somebody said, but this thing is so expensive. But compared to what? You see what I'm talking about?
Yes.
So we test you. You get into the financial fitness. We test your financial fitness. Once you know how financially fit you are, because the idea is, it's work that takes 3 days, 4 analysts. The idea is we want to map you correctly. Once we map you correctly, now we can put you on a plan that is as unique as you, so that now we can make you accountable, not on things you can't do. For instance, if today we have a match between the hippo and the monkey, and the field is trees, is that a fair journey? Is that a fair competition? It is not. So that is exactly what some people do. You are a risk-averse individual, but you're getting into risky investment classes. You will never make money with them because of your idiosyncrasies, how your makeup is. So we have to match your investments with your strengths and weaknesses, so that now you have path stability. Path stability does guarantee destination arrival in many ways. So you go through the financial fitness test. Then after that, we do a wealth plan.
Yeah.
What you need to do. By the way, that wealth plan just starts with where you are. Many times you have somebody earning 200K, they're living in La Vie, wherever they are. And then they say, currently I'm saving 20,000, 30,000. We start with that 30,000. And then we show you how many years to freedom, how many years do you still have to hustle and so on. But many people, the day they see that thing, even that house, stops having taste in them. Our plan is never budget or cut expenses or stop going out. I say these things because that's what will happen. But I'm not saying them as a leading. You can't build wealth by stop going for holiday.
Or stop living, really.
Or stop living, yeah. But when you have a plan and a path, then stacking decisions that allow you to follow that path makes sense. So if you're on a plan, if you're on a strategy, at that point, not going for holiday makes sense.
Yes.
So not going for holiday for not going for holiday's sake is stupid. You see what I'm doing? So if you have no plan, baby, enjoy that beach sand. I love that beach sand with that cold orange juice on a Sunday afternoon. And then the next day is Monday, but it also feels like Sunday. Is it just me that on holidays, it's just like 4 or 10 Sundays and Saturdays combined plus your birthday? It's so nice. Enjoy it. If you don't have a plan, just enjoy that one. But once you have a plan, you'll quickly see that $7,000 you swiped in Costo bought you 18 months. So if it was going to take you 10 years to come out of poverty, now it's 8 months, it's 8 years, 2 months because of the power of compound interest, compounding. So 7,000 over 4 years, how much money is that? That by the way, I can use $7,000 to build for your portfolio over 6 years that will come and now pay for you 7,000 type holiday the rest of your life without you ever lifting a finger. That's my point. My point is, if you touch money today, that money should never leave your life or your family. That money should remain in our family forever. Somebody said, so I tell my community members, remove yourself from all this black tax for a season. Then come back now as a real patron and pay all the black tax. You'll never even call it a black tax anymore. You will now be calling it a black blessing because your investments will be so sufficient that you will be taking care of everybody and nothing will be changing. Taking care of people early in your life is a dangerous financial plan. Yeah, it's
especially
like
as a young person,
it's a very dangerous because it weighs you down. Because how can I help you and I'm in ICU?
Literally.
I can't. Yeah, I remember my mom one day. Saying, my mom, I'm not going to school. I'm bored. I'm tired. These things we do for you, I'm not doing them anymore. He said, you are very stupid. He said, look at my life. I don't need you. This education is for you. Don't think I want any help from you. This is to help yourself and so that you also don't bother me. Hey, my mom can give you lessons. So she's like, I'm giving you this. You go sort yourself. If you feel like you want to give me something, that's up to you. But don't think this thing is for me. This thing is for yourself. Yeah. Hence, the same thing. This black tax, no parent will tax you and you're dying. You see what I'm talking about? Yeah. Give yourself for 5-7 years. Which black tax won't you pay? Which school fees won't you pay? Tell me which school fee, which medical bill won't you pay? You are paying medical bills right now, but the problem is in 2-3 years, you are now down and even you become somebody else's black tax.
Yeah. Well, okay. A lot of deep information. Yeah. Last question. I have a 9-to-5 job. Can I still achieve? I know I still can, but what's your point of view regarding
100%. Let me tell you, anybody, the first step to building wealth is any form of income. Okay. Yeah, so if you have a 9-to-5, treat that as capital. Now, if you don't have a 9-to-5, go and get a 9-to-5. Stop telling us that I'm looking for capital. There's this proposal. There's this deal. I can't say so much, but just know something is about to happen. Shut up your mouth, baby. Go and get a job. Go and become a waiter. Go and become a butchery man. Go and become a Django man. Don't tell me you're educators. You need some form of income because if there's no income, what are you going to build with? You see what I'm talking about? The reason why I'm saying some form is because it's like the way people say in Kenya. I don't know if you guys have ever had this thing, ati dogi kisha onja damu, sijui that dog is gone and such things, yeah? That once a dog tastes blood, it's the same thing, yeah. I want down to show you. What I'm trying to show you is I want you to get any form of income, even if it's 10K. And then I want to put you on a path of 6 to 9 months, just 6 to 9 months investing even 3K or 4K. The day you see that money moving, something happens to your mind. Let me tell you, your life will. Once you see that your money increased without your direct effort, you're out. And you're free. Because what will now happen, you'll be like, okay, which other job can I get? Okay, which skills, which other skill can I get? I've been spending too much time in South Korea. I need to come back to Kenya. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yeah. Have you been spending time in South Korea?
I have not.
You have not spent any time in South Korea. Are you telling me?
I was just down here.
Yeah, just down here. Yeah, I spend too much. You're like, hey, okay, fine. Which other skills do I need?
Yeah.
I'm wasting my weekends. What side hustle can I do? Because you realize two things: that I need cash and I need time. Cash and discipline. So as long as I'm generating that money and I'm investing that money, I'm buying myself out of the hustle. Right. Let me tell you, there's nowhere in this Nairobi you can't live, and you don't need any politician. You don't need anybody. You just need you. But can I tell you the funniest thing? Do you know people who are aligned? Why do you think I get mentees like this? Yeah, and you see, these mentees, the reason why I can take mentees now is because I know I won't fail them. Do you know why I know I won't fail them? Me, I have a selfish desire. I'm pursuing my I'm pursuing my thing. I'm answering my questions. I don't want to be not have fuel on the road. So as I'm pursuing, even you're pursuing. So it even helps me because I'll mentor you just for a few months. After all, after a few months we become colleagues. We are comrades. We are in the same arm. We're even exchanging notes. Yeah. You're not telling me, by the way, do you know I have now found a fund in Singapore. It's a euro-denominated fund. It's doing 18% here. You see now, we're even exchanging notes because now we are all aligned and we are pursuing. And it all started by you just getting any job. Yes. So you say, okay, fine, I'm even a graduate. Let me get more skills. Let me go online. Let me invest more. Then all of a sudden, you can even forget even 9 to 5. Go and even get a 5 to 9. That one is when you start at 5 a.m., you finish at 9 p.m. It's a few years. It's just a few years.
It's a bit of a sacrifice.
Just a few years. After all, for many of my community members, by the time they're 32, that's why I'm trying to catch them in university. By the time that they'll be living a life, many of us earning 300 for, you will not afford their life, and then they'll be living it for free because it is their portfolio that will be paying for it. You see what I'm talking about now?
I see. Hey guys, that has been Stan Agacho. I know you know how he rolled. Personally, I've learned so much. One thing I know, I've learned to be me. That's clear. I should not really try and camouflage myself to adapt to anything. That's fine. Definitely invest in yourself and in education, a bit of knowledge here and there.
A lot of
knowledge, actually. Not a bit, a lot. I mean, a lot of knowledge. And ideally, start investing. Just get started. Whether you have a job or not, just get started. And you've mentioned about investing in equities. Scope Markets also offers that, and we also offer training. So get to understand more about how to actually start investing.
Can I ask just one question?
Yes.
Tell me what would you do for me? Let's say I'm a young Kenyan, I'm 22, possibly maybe I have between 50 and 90,000 shillings. How do I engage with Scope?
First of all, you if you're watching this, you've already engaged with us. You can leave us a comment there. Go to our website, that's scopemarkets.co.ke. You'll be able to get more information there. Now, how do you get started? You set up an account with us, okay? Immediately you set up an account, you get a call from one of our account managers who is able to actually get to understand more about what you want, your desire per se, and then they will be able to customize a plan for you on how to actually get started. So the first point of contact, your account manager, will be able to take you through all that, okay? And then if you're interested in investing, we will also be able to educate you on that.
Fantastic. So I can actually build wealth with Scope Market. Okay.
Yes.
How much money do I need to have on average to start?
You can start with as low as, even for traders, you can start with as low as $10. For investors, you mentioned a good amount, about $100, right? So it really depends with your pockets. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And the reason why I'm asking is because I'm always on the lookout for our community members. Anything that makes sense for us, we're doing it. Once we evaluate, because our idea here is a win for you is a win for me.
Yes.
How we look at those a bit differently. So today when I walked in here with my community. So if I find something of value here for me, I found me, and the people in my community right now, wherever they are right now, their day is our day.
Yes.
My day is their day. You see what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Then like that, we are now moving, that African Ubuntu spirit. Yeah, so we are building Kora, which is like Google Maps, but for wealth. Kora means circle. It means community. It means a path. So we are holding hands to slaughter poverty early in the morning.
Guys, we're all slaughtering poverty.
We
right?
must slaughter poverty. We have no choice.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Stan, for being here. And
Thank you for
sharing.
having me. Mercy.
I hope to see you again.
I hope so too.
Or this time I come to yours and then now.
Welcome. Karibu sana.
Yes.
We can't speak about this subject
enough, right?
Yes.
And thank you so much, guys, for listening. I hope you've been able to learn a lot like myself. So I'm going to see you on the next episode of Pessa Chronicles.